believe in ghosts, aliens, witches, the paranormal? Of course you do. You wouldn't be tuned in to the Urban Paranormal Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Urban Paranormal Podcast, where you might be crazy to some,
but your family to us.
Hey. Well, you heard it, folks. I am JH.
And I am your moderator, Trent A. Johnson.
And this is your anchorman, Dave R., reporting for duty.
Oh, there you go. So, everyone at home right now, this particular podcast, it is urgent. It's like breaking news. You know?
We actually had a podcast planned for tonight, but we had to X that one because we thought this was more urgent, like Jay said, and people need to hear it.
Yeah.
We believe that it's an urgent matter, and it's possibly scared our public today, so we thought maybe we would cover this.
Yeah. So, the situation is, guys, as not only just a paranormal, podcast, we want to keep you guys up to date with some of the, up to date news.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we're talking today about Mr. Travis Scott in the Astroworld
tragedy.
Tragedy. I was going to say Astroworld trample.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So for those people that don't know, Mr. Travis Scott threw a concert here in Houston.
Yeah, it's the third annual.
At NRG Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had a wide range of guests, of performers.
Yeah, he had Drake,
Master
Bad
P.
Baby, Master P, even had Earth, Wind, and Fire. He had I
didn't even know that.
a whole diverse list of artists.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you guys that don't know, or you guys that are like me that don't know, Mr. Travis Scott, music is more or less, he does this thing where it's called raging.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the mosh pit for people my age. And, with those type of things causes injuries.
Yeah. Well, Jay, the name of the, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
The name of this third annual concert was Astroworld. And I think maybe you or we should explain a little bit about the history of what Astroworld is.
Oh, yeah.
And what it means to Houston,
I lived through it when I was like 5 years old, when it was still just fresh and young.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys at home, there's this thing because NASA was right here, home base here in Houston.
Yeah.
So you get the words of Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
So we became known as the space city of the world.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we named our ballpark and football field
The Astrodome, the Astros, Astro World, at the Astro Domain.
Right.
Yeah.
An Astro Arena. Now, here's the deal. So we had a fun park.
Yeah, it was actually a Six Flags.
A Six Flags, and we had at that one time, it was the scariest roller coaster in the world.
Yeah.
Cyclone.
Yeah,
Right.
that was it. Cyclone.
Loved it.
Right, and it was called
Astroworld.
Astroworld.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many of us grew up sneaking in the Astroworld.
Yeah.
I personally seen my first concert at Astroworld.
Me too.
Which
Me
was
too.
LL Cool J and
Yeah,
Houdini.
same one, yeah. That's weird because I saw the
Dating
same
myself.
damn thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't even go with you. But
I
saw
know,
it.
right? It was so huge. But Astro, the word Astro means a lot to Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why we have, the Astro baseball players.
Yeah.
So and Travis Scott is a Houstonian. He's from here, born here, raised here, and Astroworld,
Yeah. And we must mention Astroworld actually closed down. Maybe
I don't even know when it was.
It closed back in 2005 or 4.
Yeah.
According to the best of my memory.
Yeah,
Don't
about
take my word
15
for it,
years ago.
folks. Please do your research. Google it. I was there when that happened.
Yeah.
And I used to remember a lot of people. There was young people, college kids around my age at the time. We would just go in there, get in for the rides. Lines were packed because they were going to close it down. People were so panicking about the real estate prices to keep it up. It was getting so expensive
Yeah.
that now, 10 years later, the city committee wanted to destroy it, but then, it would cause shockwaves and damage other buildings if they were to try to demolutionize
Oh,
it.
you talking about the Astrodome?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Astroworld was closed down a long time ago, like David maybe said. I don't know. It's been a long time, and it became a parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where the NRG Park, right, is where they had the concert, which is why they called it Astroworld.
Yeah.
Paying respects.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, here it is. So 8 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
We're now, as this is being recorded, guys, we're steady being updated as we go on. So, pardon the misinformation slightly, but things are happening as we speak.
Yeah, and I've heard that. I've heard different numbers from 100 to 75 to even up to 300
300,
people
yeah.
injured and taken to local Houston hospitals.
Yes.
Right.
I remembered on the footage when I was looking at Univision 45 or Channel 45, it was in Spanish. You had not only whites, but you had blacks, you had Hispanics, just trampling in because, they had the sign, hey, buy Astroworld, souvenirs or something for people to, pay their respects to Astroworld, in memorabilia. Well, as we both have discussed, people have been, trampling, pushing each other, causing some injuries. I mean, right now at NewYorkTimes.com, deaths at Astroworld Festival, I am just picking up that from Chief Pena, from those people that were injured, there were 11 under cardiac arrest when there was a pushover riot.
See, now that's one of the weird things about this situation.
Yes.
Cardiac arrest. Now there are rumors going around, and this is one of the reasons why we're covering it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of rumors, a lot of narratives. The story's still fresh. It happened Friday night, and
Yes.
we were recording this on a Sunday. There are rumors that there was somebody going around injecting people with drugs.
Yeah.
And they were
Yes.
and they were investigating the police chief came out and said they are investigating the
Right.
cardiac arrest because that's not normal.
Yeah.
Right. And
For 8 different people to have cardiac
it
arrest.
was one of the security guards.
Yeah.
He was injected. That's what the cop, what the chief said.
And that's actually confirmed.
Right,
by
that's
the
confirmed.
police.
Yes, and they checked his blood and everything, and
Right.
and he had all this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he said he was standing there, he was trying to stop the people, and all of a sudden he felt a prick in his neck.
Yeah.
And he collapsed. And they did they toxicology, I guess that would
Right.
be test.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he actually had some type of foreign substance in his system that made him collapse.
Right. And so here's the thing. We do know it's been 8 people, and out of the youngest of the 8 people has been a 14-year-old. So you have 16-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Okay, there's a 10-year-old, but
He was injured.
okay.
Right.
Well, I seen a report that said he was dead, but I don't know how reliable that is.
Right. Well, we don't. I'm just saying
Yeah.
what I've read.
Yeah.
And again, people, this is being updated constantly. So here's the thing. So why will we tell you? Well, we want to inform you, but we want to talk about some of the paranormal conspiracy type of thing on it. You know,
Right.
there was a situation, just for the people who don't know. So Michael Jordan became one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Yeah.
And it was said, believe it or not, that he might have sold his soul. And by doing that, they have to sacrifice a family member or sacrifice someone.
Yeah.
And in this sacrificial situation, or the sacrifice basically, was his father.
Yeah.
Now, that might sound crazy, but there was another lady. And for her fame, her name is Jennifer Hudson. Her family,
She had to sacrifice her whole family.
her
Yeah.
family, correct.
Well, they say that with a lot of, rappers. Like they say Run DMC's sacrifice was Jam Master Jay, and there were plenty of them. I can't name them all, but you can pretty much go down the list.
Right. Now, this could also be just someone, whoever you are, you're going to have a death in the family of some sort. And people could be saying that. I don't know. But when I take a look at this Beyonce thing up close with this music being demoned, a lot of the Super Bowl shows, different
Yeah.
things. It's certain things you just can't take away.
You just can't ignore it.
Yeah, it's there.
And the reason why Jay is saying that because, like you said, there's a lot of conspiracies going on. This is fresh. There's a lot of stuff on social media. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of it on TikTok or Facebook, YouTube. They're saying this whole thing looked like a ritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what I ask you people to get outside yourself, outside of just your common sense or the reality you know, and picture yourself standing in the crowd of people while people are dying, and notice that the background, which are the lights that set up on the stage and everything, how the fire is roaring and the lights are now being flashing red.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then just you had all these crazy pyrotechnics and lasers going
Yeah.
off. And one of the viewers actually, one of the attendees of the concert actually described being at the concert as being at a concert in hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he said all he heard was screams for help and people yelling and saying help me, and you got this loud bass music going on, and you got fire erupting on the side of you. So
It's almost touching the sociological psychology of a group of people. Like, this is like a cult following. Just listening to the music, like it's a whole subconscious one union thing of just magnetizing towards to this concert. Not necessarily like, any death metal shows, but maybe popular concerts that we see in the Super Bowl that people, they idolize. And maybe we're talking about the idolization that we have a psychological cult following.
That's funny you say that, because see, when I first arrived, Trent was talking to me about the idea and concept that people are, in a sense, worshiping him.
Yes.
And that's kind of weird that you say that, because I want to say this. Just in an episode or two ago, and then one last season, we spoke about like real things. The idea and concept of making a chant in music, let's just say, guys, that I was to say, this is a ancient chant to say, hail, hail, Santa Claus, hail. Okay,
Right.
So I create a song that in the chorus is hail, hail, Santa Claus, hail, and everyone is singing this unknowingly, bringing the devil, Santa Claus.
Conjuring some shit up.
It's funny that you're comparing Santa Claus to hell. Now, for the people that are listening, be sure that you don't have your young viewers or your young listeners try to go ahead and confuse. Educate yourselves that Santa Claus is a commercial. Now, my main point is, if you actually change the letters of Santa, it respells to the name, excuse me if anybody is offended, Satan.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
if you rearrange the letters of Santa,
I
it
forgot
spells
what you
to
call
Satan.
that. Where what is that?
I forgot what you call it.
Yeah. But also, Santa was based off of a Sumerian pagan god that they have sacrificed babies into the little belly of the cauldron for rain or for agriculture.
Okay.
So Santa
We're not talking about
supposedly
Santa Claus here tonight.
no, Santa supposedly is a inspired pagan figure. Now, these theories are not clear, but they're somehow related because of the correlation of the pagan facts.
Okay,
Yes.
I got you.
There
I
you
got
go.
you.
So that's
well, before we go too far, because I know we might
Right.
speed there, I just want to play a clip
Go
to
ahead.
support what we're saying.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This clip right here, I'm going to play. This is during the concert where they're actually, because some of the people that was killed and hurt, they had to crowd surf them out. Y'all know what crowd surfing is, right?
Yes.
So they had
yeah.
to crowd surf the dead bodies out of the way.
For you guys who don't know what the crowd surfing is, what that is when an artist jumps into the crowd and they hold them on their hands and they
Yeah.
move them all the way around.
The crowd moves them around.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the dead bodies being crowd surfed away. And Travis Scott is actually looking down on this person being crowd surfed away. And this kind of, because I'm a conspiracy theorist, a little
right.
bit, but I got fucking sense too. This kind of made me think. I'm just going to play it because it sounds kind of eerie.
Okay.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Let's do it.
So
Yeah, there was a loud scream. I heard it.
Yeah,
Right,
there was
but-
a lot of screaming. I wish you could see the visual
Yeah.
to support this.
I wanted to give him the visual. Here's the thing about that, guys. When you hear him going, yeah, yeah, understand he's standing on a platform, right? And he's not even 15 feet away. He is looking down at them and just going, yeah, yeah.
As they crowd surf
Yeah,
his
yeah.
body away.
And so he's watching it.
It's
Now-
almost like if he was stoned, but I don't even have the accurate facts to
I don't know
detect
about
it or not.
Stone. It sounded like he was in a fucking
trance.
ritual of
Yeah,
trance
I
or
guess.
something.
But go on, Jay.
So I do agree with that. And he do, yeah. Okay. You know, guys, look, what happened was tragic.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
And I have to say this in a different way. There was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson performed. He did his thing, and people fucking
Lost their mind.
Lost their mind. They passed out the same way. Crowd surfed away.
Yeah.
They took him on. You know, Michael didn't stop his performance. He continued.
Nobody died though.
Right, but
Yeah.
here's the thing. How would things would have been different?
Yeah.
Because Michael wouldn't have knew
Yeah.
if those people were dead.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because he has a performance that he has to continue, and I know it looks scary, but I'm just going to be the other side here. Just say this: it looks like to me that he's saying, yeah, yeah, you know, he is in disbelief that people are passing out at his concert,
Yeah.
not knowing that they're actually dying.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like I'm saying, I'm not
Right.
here to bash Travis Scott.
Correct.
Or point the finger at anybody except maybe the concert organizers.
Yes.
There is also a possibility. I'm not trying to throw a fear factor here, but you know, what if, you know, some of the people have been triggered due to the Delta COVID variant along with the drugs? That is a possibility,
fuck?
not a fact.
Maybe.
But maybe something to look into for the police or the medics to look into.
Well, here's the other thing. Now let's jump back on the conspiracy situation. What if it is what they say? What if this is a ritual? Okay, and these people are being were sacrificed.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens next? Like, what is he going to get in return? What was his sacrifice for? You know,
maybe he goes to the next level.
Maybe
I don't know what level that is, but
right?
Maybe it's the spiritual energy that possibly he's looking for to get as much, pop for his music sales or something. We don't know for sure,
Yeah,
but that is a possibility.
Or maybe we don't know how it works. Maybe first you get the fame and then you pay later.
That's
Yeah,
Maybe he's paying
that's
now.
what a lot of people have said.
Yeah,
that- that-
Bob Dylan said that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, they get the fame first, but they already get it. It's already verbally expressed that they would have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I want to play one more clip while we
Okay.
still in that little region.
Go ahead.
And this is during the concert while people are being passed out or trying to get them out of there or whatever. People are actually screaming for Travis to stop the show.
Okay.
So listen to this. Let's have a listen.
Let's do it.
Make some noise. Stop the show! 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 Stop the show!
Yeah, so that was the crowd yelling for Travis to stop the show, which I know he probably couldn't even hear him.
couldn't hear him.
He probably thought they were saying, "Yeah, keep going,
Rock the show.
Yeah,
Rock the show.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean,
Well, the music gets so loud you can barely hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
right.
exactly.
And here's the thing too. Travis does rage music.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very sad. All right. I mean, and let's go back. Let's venture back into the sacrifice of it. You know,
Right.
you have. Well, I'm just going to go off of mine, even though Trent says he's heard a lot. I've heard that it was 300 people injured.
Yeah, I heard that
Yeah.
too.
You know, and a 10-year-old, and all of these people. But to me, a lot of the responsibility falls upon the people.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it is said that the organizers did a poor job. You know, and they had these barriers put down, and I guess some people couldn't afford tickets or whatever. And I want to say it was 50,000 people, which they said was too many. And the other people that couldn't afford was watching from the back. Well, they decided to come to the front. Now, I don't know how many of you people at home growing up, if you're like me, you have been to a concert before.
Yeah.
And just in our opening, we told you about the Astroworld theme park. And in that theme park, when we were children, we would sneak in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you were just anything like me, if you couldn't pay to get into that or didn't want to pay to get into that concert, you would have found another way in.
Yeah. Just like these people.
Just like these people did.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't mean to bust your bubble before you got to it.
No, that was it. That was it. So understand that.
But I don't think we told them that part yet. That before the show, people actually rushed the gates.
They did.
And
there was people
forced their way in.
They were jumping over the fence. They were pushing through the gate. Security couldn't handle them.
Wait a minute. Explain this to me, Trent. What are you saying?
Before the concert, there was a big crowd, and people were standing around, and they actually rushed the gates. They ran over security guards, knocked the metal detectors down, and rushed into the show.
Yeah.
See that's what I'm saying.
Cult following.
Right. You know, how is it? Okay, I made this statement before, and I need to ask you guys, like, if I do a show called Headbangers, you know, and I'm just straight heavy rock metal, whatever, and you throw your head back and forth, is it me as an artist's responsibility to buy all of my fans a fucking helmet?
I think if you're smart, you will.
Oh,
There's always going to be a dummy. Or I don't even call him a dummy. There's always going to be somebody that takes you literally.
Or
do it on purpose and then try to say, "Hey, he told me to bang my head."
Or if you're an artist, please practice safety. You could throw that to avoid lawsuit if some idiot decides to say, "Oh, we're headbanging and I hit my head towards another person in a mosh pit."
Wow.
Okay, people, please use common sense. Okay, I used to go into rave and mosh pits before. Practice safety, common sense, people.
See, that's how I feel, but apparently society's not accepting that because of now. Trent had broke me down with some numbers just off the top of his head, but before this incident with Mr. Scott that happened Friday, this pretty much happened a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, it actually happened a few times.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah, so it happened in New York, and I think it was Puff Daddy and Heavy D. Oh. It was like 97, 99, something like that. And they were throwing a concert, and people rushed the doors, and I think 9 people died.
And were they held accountable for that?
They were. Puff Daddy was held accountable. Well, we know him as P. Diddy today.
Right.
Heavy D. Remember the rap? Biddly D.
Yeah.
Remember Heavy D? Him and the venue.
Yeah.
And the organizers.
It's funny that you mentioned, Trent, that, you mentioned other deadliest crowd control disasters in New York. There's one that I'm picking up that there appears to be one of the deadliest crowd control disasters in Cincinnati, Ohio, back in 1979. And there was 11 people dead and stunned, 11 people dead. Following to 2010, 21 people.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You missing a lot. That was actually, you bust my bubble.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's good. That was a concert for The Who.
Yeah.
The rock band, The Who. Remember those?
Right.
Yeah.
And
they were they held responsible for that?
My sources say no. I want to logically say they were not responsible. Again, it's the people that should have been responsible. But then again, in today's society, people are just going to point and blame the finger. That is just me.
Okay.
People should, and I'm going to say this again, people should practice responsibly and to think about the consequences of their actions if they're going to pull a stunt like that.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying that, in my opinion, I do agree about common sense and orderly fashion, different things. But, my other mind goes like this. I've never been trampled on. I've never been in a situation like that.
Well,
but,
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to me logical.
It does, Jay. It's like 50,000 people pushing on you, man. That's like the Incredible Hulk times
Yeah.
10.
Right.
I've been in a situation where I almost stumbled in a big crowd when somebody started shooting.
Yep.
And trying to fight off all those people, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you hit the ground, all 50,000 of them feet are gonna touch you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't actually fall, but I felt the power of the crowd. Like, there's nothing I could do here.
There you
Right.
have it,
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
Common sense, safety.
Well, during that trample, a young man was trying to save his fiance. She tripped and fell,
Yeah.
and he tried to save her. In return, they both lost their life. They couldn't do anything against that crowd either. But it just seems like you wouldn't fall, or you wouldn't die. But there was a man that was 6'2", 250 pounds, and they showed his white sneakers,
right.
for identification. But he was 250.
Bro, do you know, I don't mean to cut you off, but the report I read said like 400 and something pounds.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
At first, when I said 250, I think that my mind
No, it
shifted.
was like
but it was
495 or something.
like 500
Damn near
pounds.
500 pounds.
He was a big dude.
And I was like, wow, is that accurate? I
Right.
seen they showed his tennis shoe
Yeah.
on the news.
Yeah. Now here's
They were trying to identify him.
trying to identify him,
Yeah.
and they said he was he had wavy hair or whatever. But
Yeah.
the thing is, someone that big being crushed
Yeah, I mean, that shows the power.
of that crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Numbers can be scary.
Because you got to think about it. The people in the back don't know they're crushing the people in the front.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's probably people in the middle trying to stop everything, but they're just getting pushed forward. They probably don't even see who they're stepping on. You know what I'm saying? You probably could have survived maybe 10 people trampling over you, but once you get to 100 people that have walked over you, man,
Right.
that's a lot. Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's just imagine the horror of you
Wow,
you
yeah.
going and not knowing, and then looking down and going, what the fuck?
Exactly.
I mean, so you guys at home, this was like an emergency broadcast,
Yes.
And I think what we need to do right now, we need to pay some bills real quick, and we were going to come back and we're going to talk to you more about the past situations of Mr. Scott and how it seems possibly even more so like a sacrificing ritual that they might be a part of, right along with his wife. Okay? So when we return, we'll be back.
It's that time of year, guys. Just in Time Tax Houston. Their services include personal and business taxes, notary, DBA assistance, free consults, virtual and Zoom consults are available. The best part is you get a $50 referral fee. You also get a $25 discount if you show a digital or physical copy of the flyer and mention the Urban Paranormal Podcast. The address is 9894 Bissonnet Street, Suite 387, Houston, Texas 77036. So contact Crystal Terry at 832-949-4080 for the lowest preparer fees in town.
It just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe. You couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like I kid you not. Like in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted, and the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning them black and blue. Like I never seen death in my fucking life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 fucking people laid out dead.
That was a soundbite from one of the attendees, and you heard what he said. You do not take his words lightly. He might have used words wrong, but don't take his words lightly.
Yeah.
He felt like it was a concert in hell.
Yeah.
Now you think about that he would use that word, that phrase.
I mean, because you got fire going on, people screaming help,
Yeah.
people dying around you,
pains of
passing out.
agony, just yelling and
Then you got this rage music going on, that bass line, doom, doom, doom. Man, wow.
According to Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, according to Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, he confirmed that there are 25 people that were hospitalized under the age of 18.
okay. So, when you look, a ritual needs a couple things in place. It needs a sacrifice. Okay. It needs what rituals has, a certain rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it needs the chanting,
Yeah.
and it needs the people to be willing.
And the actual spell, which would, if that's what it was, it would be his music.
His music.
Yeah.
And the willing part was the people who were willing to come
To worship
and
Travis
say-
Scott.
Correct.
Wow.
Or the other entertainers, This being said, it's like it could very well be some sort of ritual. Now, what this ritual could be, I don't know. And I'm starting to think like this here. With the way the world is today in general, people are so afraid of everything. You have the vaccine, you have the government's trying to control us, and then you have the concept and idea of this large gathering, and someone else is preying on the large gathering with some type of syringe or whatever, pricking people and fucking them up. What is that about? Now, the reason why I say ritual, paranormal, different things of that nature is because there's been a long time that our government has acted like it's part of something. For example, the government infiltrated Black Panthers, different situation with JFK. So in this type of environment with all of these little kids, the government can easily have been off in there and been injecting people with a new drug that could coincide, work with or against whatever you want to call it, the vaccine. It's so many different angles, you just don't know. And we just don't know, guys. We're really on the show at this point. We're only speculating. There's no factual stuff here other than the concert he had and people lost life and a lot of people were hurt. But we're just taking it like, what does this mean? What does exactly this mean? And it is sad that people lost their life, you know? So I also have to look at it in another way. When it comes to these particular rituals, a lot of people are offered fame first, and then they pay that shit back later. He is married to Kylie Jenner.
Ain't she a billionaire?
Yeah, she's pretty rich. She is the sister. No, she's the sister of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So take a look at how they came up, and you think about that for a second. I mean, obviously it was about sex, right, with the first one, but everything else that transpired, their connection to OJ, their all this weird stuff that's going on with them.
Yeah. I think the reason her name is different because I think she's the one that's only
The daughter,
Caitlyn's biological. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, so when you look at how they're connected to all of these different things, how crazy Kanye went, guess what? That has a lot to do with them. You know what I'm saying? When you got all of these girls being fascinated with a certain look and doing these things, being brainwashed, that's also associated with them. That's a lot of mass people. And for Jenner to get with Travis Scott, now taking his music to hypnotize a lot of people.
Young minds.
And then it's weird that this is a strange little fact about the whole Astroworld thing. It started with Kylie actually rented out a theme park for Travis Scott's birthday, I think in 2017.
Yeah.
And she themed it Astroworld. She had this whole park. She had Astroworld signs made up, and she made this park look like Astroworld for Travis's 27th birthday.
Didn't he do a cover or made a? It was a picture, and it looked like Astroworld. It was a cover or something.
They made the whole theme park look like the original Astroworld for his birthday, and then after that, he started doing the Astroworld
thing.
events in 2018. Yeah.
So, that's she got money.
Yeah, she got money.
Yeah, she got
Wow.
money. You
Yeah.
know,
Money and connections.
yeah, but I just
And it's tragic for the victims, but a lot of people in Houston gonna have money now. I
Yeah.
hate to say it like that.
yeah,
There's
that
gonna be a lot of lawsuits coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually one filed yesterday
Yes.
suing Travis Scott. They actually suing Drake.
I didn't know about Drake.
Yeah, because Drake was a surprise guest at the show. And they're actually suing Drake, Travis Scott, the NRG Center, and what is the company? Live Nation.
Live Nation, yeah.
Yeah. They're suing for $1 million.
Wow. Well, first of all, I don't know how to take the lawsuit just in general because, look, the environment was unsafe, but how do you blame someone for your ignorance? Like, how do you? It's a real touchy.
Well, I don't.
It is a touchy
Yeah, that is
subject.
touchy because I wouldn't call those people ignorant. You know what I'm saying?
I would say it's more of reckless behavior,
Yeah, reckless behavior.
and lack of safety on the security and the management setting up the concert. That I think that's what the lawyers are looking at to put the lawsuit on.
Yeah.
Well, this is. Oh, I'm sorry, Trent.
No, go ahead.
This is where it becomes very ritual and cult like.
Right.
When you take a cult, you have to brainwash them. You have to make them think that only what you say matters, okay?
Yeah.
So now, if you don't take this responsibility on yourself and you have to sue other people, then that would be, sheep being led to the slaughter.
Yeah.
You then say, we are sheep. This man said, come here, no matter what the situation was, and you came.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they were worshiping a god.
Right.
They are.
If you listen to the sound bites, they're just screaming, Travis, Travis,
Right.
50,000 people.
Well,
There's got to be some energy there.
Theoretically, yes, I would have to agree with both of you. These people, they are sheep, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They will follow. They are irrational beings. Sorry, but our brains are complex. So what do? We find an idol to associate whatever we are psychologically connecting, which we are giving power. That being said, when we get into certain accidents or whatsoever, we have now developed into this, we will blindly believe anybody what, they will tell us through the manifestation. At the same time, not take responsibility to this culture now that we have this sense of entitlement where, okay, it's not my fault, but it's someone else's.
Well,
But I leave it to you guys for you to kind of believe for yourself. This is just my take. I don't want you guys to get all, this is a controversial speech.
I feel you. But I want to ask both of y'all this. So what do y'all think about these cardiac arrests, man? That's just sticking with me, man.
Well,
I don't think that's
ahead.
something normal that goes on with, that type of accident.
I could say from a medical standpoint, due to the pyrokinetics technology, the loud noises, and possibly, the crowds just pushing around and the drugs, that can definitely be big factors that could lead to the cardiac arrest medical cases. Go on.
I think that would lead more into like a seizure if if you're prone
That
to
too.
things like that. But I'm saying 8 people having cardiac arrest, man.
Well, it's a big crowd, and you got the drug factor that will accelerate the cardiac arrest. If you have a certain amount of drug or chemical, it's going to overload the heart to some sensitive people.
Well, it must be strange to HPD too because they're investigating it.
Yes.
So many cardiac arrests
Well-
wasn't a normal thing.
Well, Trent, what I was saying was, let's take a look back. The CIA infiltrated the Black Panthers. The CIA also had something to do with JFK and all these things, right? They implement themselves into certain environments.
Yeah.
So you take this large environment, okay, and you put an operative in there,
Yeah.
armed with a syringe or something,
Yeah.
and they start pricking people.
Injecting people.
Correct. Now, there's so many people that did not get the virus. I mean, did not get the vaccine, basically. So just imagine a CIA operative having a new drug, wanting to test it out.
That goes back to what David said about the Delta variant or whatever.
Yes.
Maybe.
COVID Delta. It's a mutated COVID-19 virus.
I mean, it's so many different things that could be wandering around in those 50,000 people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and just in there there could be doctors looking to see how people react to things. There could be, you know, and I say that because if you ever take a look at the Purge movie and it shows the beginning and it's a doctor just is studying the way people react.
Yeah.
Well, if you put these people in this environment, there could have been someone looking to find out how people react to certain situations and what would that actually cover up. And understand when I say what that will cover up, right? So we have a ritual being done on national, right here.
Right.
Okay. And all of these bad things happening. So the news and media is flooded right now with this story. But what is that story actually concealing?
Yes. I mean, maybe it's part of the ritual.
well, Jay.
Maybe that helps start the ritual, you know?
Well, Jay.
Okay.
Well, Jay,
Okay.
you had an interesting point about, you know, the people trying to start the rioting. And it was interesting that you brought up that, you know, someone must have instigated this riot for the sake of studying the sociological aspect of the riot behavior itself. Could it be that, you know, and I'm going to agree with you to this aspect, that possibly some government or some, you know, middleman person started, you know, this chain reaction to cover up a ruse for an experiment?
Correct. And the people are such sheep that they're focusing on what they see in front of them and wanting to sue Travis Scott,
Yes.
Drake, and the organizers, wherein the organizers themselves could actually be funded by the government. So someone
Could
at
be.
home need to really take a look and see where the finances go for this organizer. But, you know,
Well,
hey,
in the end, it's all about money. They're going to cause a
Yeah.
ruse to get the bigger money of the profit.
Yeah.
well, see, isn't that part of a ritual too? Because people sacrifice people for power, money and power.
Wow.
Take a look at the Salem witch trials. I mean, they have their. Take a look at the Salem witch trials. I know it's not like a sacrificial thing, but think about it. Everybody thought it was a religious, you know, story or whatsoever. But when people, they have used, you know, those girls' little game whatsoever just to go accuse someone of the devil or whatsoever, they have followed along with that idea just to kill people to get profits for their property or their money.
That's
Okay,
true.
yeah.
Okay, so y'all got one more soundbite,
Okay.
and it's actually T. Finner, our new police chief.
Okay.
You know, which is from our neighborhood.
Yay.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this soundbite.
We're trying to do here in the Houston Police Department. I will tell you, one of the narratives was that some individual was injecting other people with drugs. We do have a report of a security officer, according to the medical staff that was out and treated him last night, that he was reaching over to restrain or grab a citizen, and he felt a prick in his neck. When he was examined, he went unconscious. They administered Narcan. He was revived, and the medical staff did notice a prick that was similar to a prick that you would get if somebody's trying to inject. That is one part of it. The other thing that's very important, there were some individuals that were trampled, and we want to be respectful of that. But we just ask that y'all give us time to do a proper investigation.
Wow,
Yeah.
Incredible.
I've never heard of something like that, man.
Right. It sounds like a CIA operative shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Or just some
conspiracy.
crazy motherfuckers.
A conspiracy causing a chain reaction
Yeah.
to cover up a bigger story.
Wow, this stuff is just weird from so many angles, Jay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many different things you can take from it. But
Yeah.
see, here's the thing about that. So whatever that drug was, it had to be placed neatly in a syringe. All right? You think about that. That's neat in a syringe. And it said, he didn't say a person,
Yeah.
he said people.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it was more than one person with this particular syringe with the same shit. Okay. Now, let's just say, okay, well, he's crazy. Someone was crazy and just doing that, just to be doing that to watch people get high, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. If you remember the situation in New York, the woman had a fucking knife. And as she was walking by people, she was stabbing them. Some people didn't even know they was being stabbed.
Wow.
Now, this woman is crazy. Okay. So she had a knife. There's nothing neat. Nothing. That's just straight up.
What is this you're talking about?
This happened around about 2015. A woman was just crazy walking down the
She's
street.
just walking around randomly stabbing. Wow.
Right, when people walking by. Some people didn't even know that they were
Oh,
stabbed.
shit. Yeah.
So my point is, she had a knife. It's not neat. That's a crazy person doing.
Yeah.
But when someone takes a particular drug, a particular thing, and places it neatly in a syringe, keep it in their hand, not just one, but multiple, it becomes organized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And then you got to think about who got stuck with the needle.
Correct.
Security.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, so this here was a planned, or could be a planned situation that turned out against. Now, see, now let's just go this way. What if Travis Scott himself is a victim?
Well, I think to a degree
He could be.
he could be.
Okay, well, let me explain.
Yeah.
Let me explain why.
Yeah.
Take a look at the money he makes based off of this sale. Take a look at what happens to the money. Take a look at who's not being paid. Now, let's talk about who's not being paid for a second. Mayor Turner, City of Houston. There's so many people. The people that's making the money are the vendors that's out there.
Yeah.
Now, reason why I bring that up, because here's something. So you guys that are from Houston, you would know an Astros player named Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah.
Jeff Bagwell said, wow, his children love Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And they always want to go to his stuff. He said he wanted to know who Travis Scott was.
Yeah.
Because Travis Scott does so much for Houston.
Yeah.
And people, he gives away a ton of stuff
He
to
does.
charity.
He does.
Okay? Now, if you take that and you take a look at that, people would get mad. Sylvester Turner would get mad. He's not getting any money. He can't lace his pockets. So many people can't. Okay?
I don't know about that.
I mean, look, it's a theory.
Yeah.
And let's just say that these people are organized and they create this fiasco where people start running and trampling. Someone's in the crowd going, let's go, and
If the city, that brings bad shit on the city. I don't think the city would organize it if that's where you're going. with that.
well, actually kind of where I was going with
Yeah.
it. But what I'm saying is it could be done by a higher power. And this right here could be making him a victim, money-wise, to bankrupt him, to do these different things, bad publicity.
Maybe. That's a
Think like this here.
yeah.
In the government right now, you think about the COVID situation.
Yeah.
Okay? Think about the idea and concept of people going out and doing their regular life. There's a lot of the government that does not like that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think maybe they should monitor the security guard they got stuck and see if he comes with COVID-27 or something when he,
yeah,
when he
you're right.
wakes up out of it. Yeah.
They're going to do that.
Right.
But I'm just saying that Travis Scott throwing this concert could go against a lot of what the government say. A lot of the government don't believe that we should be living our lives back like we used to.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They want
Yeah.
us to be confined and controlled. And this would definitely be going against them.
Yeah,
So if the
definitely.
government was to organize something to stop that,
Well, you got to think people been locked in the house for almost 2 years, bro.
mm-hmm.
They want to get out and touch people and see people and
Breathe
Right.
on
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
bad habit stuff.
yeah.
that's not bad habits. That's the way the world. That's the regular world.
It is
Right.
the regular world, but it's also the bad habits that you could spread the contagious disease. I'm just stating out of the facts. I'm not trying to say what you're doing is right or wrong. I'm just saying be careful.
Well, that's if you still riding with that narrative, man. The world has to get back to the regular world.
It
needs to.
at
I
some
agree.
point.
It do.
And I
It
think
needs
the
to.
point is right now.
I mean, and
The point
and
is now. You can stay in your house for another 2 years if you want, but I think the world must go on.
And-
Well,
and
Trent,
here's a question. Here's the thing. I just want to ask you.
Go ahead.
Or ask everyone. So Trent and I, we were little dudes, right? And we was with each other every day. spitting in each other's face, laughing,
Yeah.
doing everything.
Yeah.
The regular
of
world.
course.
Right. And nothing ever happened other than we got a cold and that was it, if that. Nothing ever happened. But now all of a sudden, it is not proper. It's not, you don't want this to happen.
And we can't let that happen.
Okay. Well, I understand not proper, but it's now not safe because we got this deadly virus.
Well,
That's all.
and that's-
but
and I'm
I
gonna
respect
say
your.
again.
But I respect your opinion on the.
Well,
on
where
this
the hell
topic.
it come from?
I respect your opinion too.
Yeah.
I respect your opinion too.
Sure.
But the world must go on. You can
It-
stay
it
in the
does.
house for how long do you plan to stay in the house?
I'm thinking we should.
So we can't kiss anymore.
Right.
Are we gonna let the world get rid of kissing? Are we gonna let the world get rid of touching your brother?
Okay.
Are we gonna get rid of handshakes?
Right.
Are we gonna get rid of being human?
Hugs.
Yeah. Are we gonna get rid of hugs?
I
We
feel you
can't.
on this one.
We can't.
I feel you on this one.
Yeah.
It's because of the stupid pandemic that we're all forced to stay in our homes and to do it for the quote for safety that we're going to have to stay for another year statistically until this virus dies out.
But see,
Okay,
and it's
baby.
stupid.
He
I agree
doesn't
with
get
you.
what I'm
It's
saying, so
stupid.
let's just move on.
Yeah. And I'll just say this. Where the fuck did it come from in the first place?
Okay,
That's
you
it.
got
Exactly.
you got
That's
this.
it.
Okay, you got the past president that says, "Oh, it's the Wuhan virus," and then everybody's offended.
No.
I don't know anymore,
It's
man.
rhetorical, but what I'm saying is, bro, someone does not want us to have a gathering such as the one that went down at Astroworld. They
Right.
don't want us to be in the same vicinity of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just bottom line.
Yeah.
And that's the way they want the world. And by him having this celebration, this concert, that's almost like saying "fuck you, government."
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing that out there that could be a possibility.
I'm also going to say, too, I have this thing in my head, too, that maybe this Delta variant was already made by the government just to get us more scared to stay in our houses. But I don't know. That's just my thing.
Yeah, like
That's
I
my
say,
suspicion towards the
maybe-
government.
I'm just like maybe on everything, but like I said, the world must go on,
It
must
does.
go,
I
right.
do.
and we
It
can't
is-
let this make us not human anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
Trent,
You know?
you know what? I agree with you on that aspect because we as human beings, we need to be socially interactive. If not, it's going to be very unhealthy for us from the start. And we also need to get back to the things the way they are. So, Trent, go ahead, preach.
Right? No, I'm through. I wasn't preaching.
So-
I'm just saying how I feel about things.
I'm glad you brought it up.
No.
I am.
And I only stated it because of the situation of Mr. Travis Scott. I wanted to put him. Right now, we can think about a ritual and we think about the family he's with, but also let's switch it around a bit and see if he was a victim. If he was a victim, then these other things come into play, such as being sabotaged, propaganda being pushed. For what reason? And the only reason I could think of is to keep us separated. But you have news, so I would like to hear it, please.
Okay. So, for Death Crowd News, we have in 2010, 21 people died at a Crush electronic dance music festival in Germany. 10 years earlier, 9 people were killed at a Pearl Jam concert in Denmark. Wow. There was also tragedies involving fires and shootings, including the 2003 nightclub fire at a heavy metal concert at Rhode Island, which 100 people died. Back to you guys.
Well, I do like that news, but see, it's funny because when I hear news, I want to know other part of news too, like who was held responsible.
It was basically the people that brought in and caused the uprising, pretty much. Each of those cases.
The organizers are what you're saying, or
Yes, the audience organizers, as you may say.
oh wow,
Okay, so I just pulled up a tweet
Go ahead.
that was put out by Travis Scott on 5/5/21. And this was pre-concert. And it said, "Nah, and we still sneaking the wild ones in."
What?
That's crazy. That's
Yeah, it
from
is.
I guess from some previous concert. Wow.
well. That's weird. See, that's what I'm saying. Things can get really touchy because when you showed me his the flyer for this, it had people going from a different dimension.
Yeah.
And-
it had like a roller. I'm just explain. I'm
Yeah,
gonna explain
explain
it
it.
a little deeper. So the artwork for the flyer to this event was a roller coaster going into a portal with people seeming like they're being sucked into the porthole. And the tagline for the show was "Welcome to a whole nother I think it was a way of thinking or dimension or something like that.
Whole new other dimension. I
And the
think.
whole album cover looked like a freaky DMT trip.
Oh.
And you had the all-seeing eye at the top. You know, it's
Right.
Like, wow, yeah.
So
I think that's why you said there could have been a conspiracy. I'm beginning to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Now.
yeah, you know, and think about like what Trent just made the statement of DMT.
Yes.
and think if the ritual was organized the other way, wherein he had people in the audience working with him with the syringe doing that shit.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
You know, so there's a couple of things, you know. So I tell you what, guys, we're gonna wrap this up real quick, and we're gonna be right back. Okay. Now, I used to say this all the time, and now we have sound bites for it. But I still would like to say that if you have an idea or want to be on our show, you know, please, you know, contact us at
urbanparanormal13@gmail.com.
And if you would like to donate or become a sponsor or anything like that of our show, please send money to
$ DSB Media on Cash App.
and we'll be right back.
Hey.
You are listening to Season 2 of the Urban Paranormal Podcast.
What's up, man? It's your big brother K Reno, and right now y'all are checking out Urban Paranormal Podcast. Yeah.
Brought to you by DSB Media.
And we are back. So this Travis Scott concert, you
Tragedy.
know. Yeah, tragedy, man.
The concert from hell.
Yeah, the concert from hell.
That's what it's being called in mainstream media.
There you go. You know. Different things are still coming in. Matter of fact, my phone just hit one of the first major lawsuits are now just hit him right now.
Wow.
So it must be something big at this point. I still think it's weird that they would sue him and not just the organizer. I mean, look, if I lost my child to something like this, I don't think that $1 million is going to help me.
Nah, but I get what you're saying, but man, you so fucking angry and mad. You just want some type of revenge. Or, I don't want to say revenge. You want somebody to pay, be held accountable.
Right.
And I guess you can't hurt them, so I guess maybe hurting their pockets would maybe be some type of
vindication
for loss of life. I mean, there's no dollar amount that you could put on your child.
Right.
So,
right.
I totally get it, because God forbid if it were my child,
right,
I would be upset with Travis Scott too. I mean, I hate that. I love Travis Scott, but it's the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I've been, God forbid if it was any of my children, I've been blessed enough to not lose a child. But if my child did die because of it, you know, I don't.
And
think,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just don't think I could be upset with him. Our children do things all the time. They drive vehicles. They fight in the UFC. They play football. They play basketball. And if they was to die doing any of these things, I can't be mad at the NBA organization. I can't be mad at the football. I can't be mad at UFC. I can't be mad. You know, it's because of what my kid did what they wanted to do. You know, so. If my kid had children type of thing and they wanted, the organization was going to give money for his children, okay, that's fine. But I don't know. It's just weird. I think it's weird that Mr. Travis Scott has to be the he has to be the sacrifice. There go your ritual
child of this shit.
There go your ritual right there. Mr. Travis Scott is being sacrificed right now.
Wow.
Basically.
His career at least.
Well, I got a little weird tidbit of news right here about this. So I think it was channel 1113. One of the reporters were trying to interview some of the people that were employed by this event.
Okay. Wow.
And
good one.
Her reply was, I want to talk to you, but we all had to sign NDAs. And she couldn't talk about it.
See, that looks bad.
Yeah.
That looks really bad.
Yeah, it looks real bad. If y'all don't know what an NDA is, that's a
no disclosure,
non-disclosure agreement, which means you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks really bad. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I just found that out today.
See, I don't know. I don't. I want to think highly of the situation of Mr. Travis Scott. I don't.
I think highly of Travis Scott.
Right, but
just for what he does for the city and
right,
him reaching the heights he's achieved and being from Houston.
Right.
Yeah.
Being from Houston. Yeah. But it just looks like at this point, I don't know if he's a guinea pig or if he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know which one at this point. But I do know that a lot of people did lose their life and due to possibly trampling, but I think that that's a cover up. I think that that's for example, Trent, you just said eight people passed or had cardiac arrest.
Well, no, there were some of the people who had cardiac arrest actually
lived.
I don't know what a
percentage of it that died.
That died from cardiac arrest, but 8 people died.
Right. So 8 people died. Right. We do know that, but we know that they had cardiac arrest. So realistically, one thing could be used to cover up another.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of bad things going on here. And with the woman saying, no, I would like to talk to you, but I can't because I signed an NDA.
Yeah.
That is right then and there. That's like saying it's some more shit you guys need to know, but I just can't say it.
Yeah.
So that means it's not good.
Yeah,
It's not good.
well, a lot of artists take steps like this. You know, you might cheat on your wife backstage.
Oh boy.
You might smoke some crack or something backstage, and you can't talk. You don't want nobody talking about anything they see at this concert.
Yeah.
Or drink with your band before backstage.
Anything you don't want to get to TMZ or the media.
Oh yeah,
that could happen backstage.
Right.
You want to have someone sign an NDA so they can't talk about it.
So you think that might have been one of the situations, or was it the organizers? Because it sounded like you said the organizers
that made people sign the NDA. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's usually the artist's request or his publicist.
I think the publicist would go under the organizers. And
Yeah.
Jay, you may have a good suspicious point on that investigation.
Yeah. So again, our chief said, "Hey, let us do our job. Let us get an investigation going."
Yeah.
People, just so you know, Trent made this, he alluded to this earlier. So you need to understand, people die. Accidents happen. But let me tell you, when it's suspicious, right? The deaths, there's something not right about the deaths.
Yeah.
Is when a real investigation takes place. And that's what the man said. See, it's very cut and dry if you look at it simply this way. A lot of people rushed to stages and people failed and they was trampled. That would be so easy. It's clean. It's nice. We know what happens. But when the police steps in and said there's an investigation going on, that lets you know that it's not just the trampling. It's something more to it, which is why when we decided to do this podcast, we wanted to talk about the ritual aspects of it, the sacrificing possibly, and some of the other
strange cardiac arrests,
right?
And people being injected with unknown substances.
Correct. So just know that the investigation that they're putting out right now is not as simple as it sounds, as it should be.
Wow.
Yeah, just, things are very simple. David, you had some news that you want to drop, which is a big boom.
Yes. Yes. Hold on a sec while
while you pull that up, I got a little something.
Go ahead, man.
It don't have nothing to do with this Astroworld situation.
That's fine.
But
we're talking.
For cell phone users, which is probably the whole world now.
Yeah.
And the top dog, Apple, the iPhone, they're going to have a competitor now.
Who?
And they're probably going to be left in the dust.
Who?
By Tesla. Tesla is now has the Pi phone in production with new Starlink network technology. And this phone is supposed to blow the iPhone out of the water, from the words of Mr. Elon Musk himself. The Pi phone.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I
Oh,
think
wow.
I'm going to want that
I
Pi
think I'm
phone.
gonna want that shit too.
Yeah.
If you can beat damn iPhone, because I'm sorry, no Android can.
Yeah.
If you can beat iPhone,
Yeah.
I'm definitely rolling with you.
And it's run on the Starlink network, which is Tesla's own satellites. That is incredible. Can't wait to see the Pi phone, baby.
And I didn't even know about Tesla's own satellites.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to do a show about that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one. We could possibly, look at the specs of this device.
Yeah. So that I like that. I like that information. That's good information.
So you got your gig up there?
Yes. This is in following up to the 2003 Rhode Island heavy metal concert that 100 people died. To continue in with the details, the blaze that was taking place was in a small, low-ceiling building within minutes. It nearly injured 200 other people, which were hospitalized, including Miss Gutra Daria, who died in Massachusetts General Hospital. 3 people have died in their injuries in the hospital area. Basically, her sad death, they had to skin graft. They had to do multiple operations on her. She lost her hands, her limbs. Going on forward, 40% of her body suffered severe burns, and the surgeons operated on 15 times and had to amputate her hands because they were so badly injured.
Holy shit. So basically, be careful. Watch your surroundings at these events.
Yeah.
There's no telling when a stampede or anything can happen.
Right.
And on top of that, not to scare people, this woman had suffered through a virulent fungal infection. You can get this if you received a 3rd-degree burn or worse.
Oh, wow. Let's hope we don't get any 3rd-degree burns.
A fungal infection. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. And I kind of feel that way, and I shouldn't. But the truth is that I'm really suspicious of everything.
Yeah.
And when there's a large gathering of some sort,
Yeah.
I at that point decide to not to
I don't
attend.
like being around a lot of people like
Right.
that. A lot of strangers. And
Right.
Yeah.
So remember,
stranger danger.
they had the little protest in I want to say Charleston, whatever it was, and a car just came through and just started mollywopping people.
Yeah, that was fucked.
So you think about these protests. It's 100 people at this concert that he's talking about, and they're in a building. Now, the thing is that they're trying to make money, and they're trying to secure their money. So what they do is they lock the building up in a certain way, okay? And making sure that there's only one way in and one way out,
Yeah.
okay? And a fire breaks out. All of these people are rushing to that one exit. So the people that weren't originally burned alive were trampled into trying to all go through this one door.
Wow.
And then obviously they burn.
Well, what do you think about outside events with people standing? I think there's a danger in that.
I still think it's the same thing.
I mean, I think when people are in this, if you ever go to concerts, when you're in your seat, you have a seat you paid maybe $500 for. You're not going to leave that seat.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think these outside events, it might be some danger in that if it's not done well.
Well, yes, you said it earlier. You said you were at an outside event.
Yeah.
And all it took was one gunshot.
Yeah.
And people started running.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's death right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Right.
And
this lady, I'm pretty sure people seen her interview. The lady with the black hair, I forgot her name, I won't mention her name, but she described this as a fight for survival, not a concert. She said it was a fight for survival. She actually thought she was gonna die.
There you go.
Yeah, that's incredible.
See, I mean, that's how.
That goes back to the concert from hell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it fits the story, concert from hell.
Right. And yes. And the thing is that these people go in large gatherings to these things thinking, oh, it's okay. But didn't you just have a large gathering in Vegas and the man saw the concert and he got his weapons and started shooting
he
people?
Damn sure did. I forgot about that one.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot to be said about these large gatherings because it leaves you helpless.
Yeah.
It really does.
Man, I think something like that, like you got 50,000 people and that one injection or that one gunshot turns these 50,000 people into one powerful thing.
A running cattle.
Yeah. Or like one powerful being, 50,000 becomes one, a giant force.
Right.
That could trample and, do amazing shit.
Right, which is what I said earlier about a government doing an experiment to see.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I mean, these things are actually prevalent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Into the whole situation. I mean, all of these things. But let's not take away from the situation in general that these people lost their lives, you know.
And then Travis Scott did come out and issue an apology. I want to play a little soundbite from that just to be fair.
Okay.
All right.
Prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, help them get the help they need, I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. We've been working closely with everyone to just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, everyone to, help us.
So what y'all think about that?
Well, first of all, I've heard people say that it didn't sound genuine.
Well, you got to look at his face. It brings up the thing that I hate, crying without tears.
Right.
Which always seems fake to me.
Well, okay. I mean, I can accept that, but I didn't see his situation of needing to cry. I see his situation of him waking up. He probably didn't do much sleep anyway.
Yeah.
Waking up and going, damn, this shit is fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's trying to talk, which is why you hear the cuts, guys, because he's cutting. It's cutting. So he has a thought and he says it, and then he probably rambles and he goes back, cut that out, then put the other piece in, so and so.
Yeah.
And I think that what he said was legit. That he said he can't understand, how severe. He said he just can't. It's just mind blowing at what happened, and he was there and he saw it, but didn't.
And I get it, because it's really not a personal, emotional connection there to really bring the tears. So he's trying to sound as sincere
as possible.
He was trying to sound sympathetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, I am being upfront.
Yeah.
With the police, with everybody, the investigation. So he's not trying to run away from blame.
Yeah.
He even said that we're trying to identify the people that's lost, that their families, because he wants to basically compensate and help these people. Yes. So I don't see. I know that people have issues with that. I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. There was also a video of Jenner. She posted on her Twitter account, and you saw all the people, and you could see just the lights from the ambulance in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Well, she knew what was going on." No,
that's a stretch. I think.
Yeah, that's a huge stretch because these events.
And didn't she delete the tweet after that or something? Well, she deleted the tweet, but somebody had already screenshotted it.
Well, Jenner didn't say that. She was just saying, like, showing you, hey, the concert's going on. It's basically it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it was someone else that made the statement saying, she knew what was going on and all of that stuff. But in these events, people have heat exhaustion because they're so close together. We've seen that.
Yeah.
And they faint and get taken out, So ambulances are there a lot. Things can happen. It could be a fight, So many things can happen. So
and there were several fights. Some of them were caught on camera. I watched a couple of them.
I didn't even see them, but I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So there's no way that this woman, from her point of view, where she was and took this video, that she could say, "Oh, there was people dying out there." No, there's no way, no way.
Yeah, of course. People are gonna come up with all kind of theories before this is over with.
Yeah.
And the truth is probably going to be stranger than any one of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, I try to, I can look at paranormal and I can look at conspiracy, but I also look at people as people, common sense.
Yeah.
And the situation is, if we threw an event and a function and people died, you know, hey, the show must go on.
Yeah.
No, but the truth is, I'm hurt behind that. I feel bad about that, you know.
Feel terrible.
Correct, correct. You know, I don't know any of those people. None of these people were my friends, but they were my fans. And I respect that. So I see his situation. I see how he can possibly feel. I don't think that this was intentional. And if we do a show, matter of fact, so you understand, I just want to put that out there. It's very simple. Trent will come up with something and he'll do it. Trent will go through the beginning to the end to make sure that it's set up straight. So if he say, well, Jay, could you do this? Guess what? It's half-ass done. So people are like that. So when you have an organizer, right, who puts this together, say, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
You take them at their word.
Yeah.
You know, and now all these people come and they fucking ejected the damn security guards and ran past that shit, bum rushed everything, and they're crushing people. You know, Trent shouldn't be held responsible, if that makes sense. You know,
Right. Yeah.
That goes back to supporting my statement as far as it's really more the people.
Well, like I say, Travis Scott is the name on this.
Right.
So there's no getting around him. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he's not gonna be brought up in lawsuits. There's already been 3 lawsuits filed.
Yeah.
So he's the face of this tragedy. So
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
I mean, because if it wasn't for Travis Scott, the promoters or organizers wouldn't have nothing to organize.
right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
So
see what you're
mean,
saying.
yeah.
They're just looking for somebody to just, point the finger on. But that's just me.
Yeah. You know, so I really think that this is a still developing story, guys. It's still developing, and there's still updates and different things to come. And I think that we are going to probably have the last of it probably, next week.
Yeah.
About next week.
Because they're probably going to do, which I thought they already done, toxicology on the old boy, see what he was injected with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And investigate what brought on these cardiac arrests.
Right.
Yeah, so as we get the information, we might have to do another show.
Right, to just give it to you guys, you know. So remember, this wasn't just a regular show for us. This was a talking point about an update.
Yeah, something we felt that we had to talk about.
Right, because we're from here and we live right here by it.
Yeah.
You know, which is so weird because I live right here. I can like, it won't even take me 5 minutes to get there.
Exactly.
And the worst part is I didn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? That's sad.
You didn't?
I didn't know anything about this.
Until today.
Until yesterday.
Well, I mean, the next day, yeah.
Yeah, but I would think that I would knew about the show happening.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you're not a kid anymore, Jay. You don't listen to that kind of music.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Because I didn't know, well, I actually did. I did know about Astroworld because I was actually across the street in 2019. That was the last one they had because they didn't have one in 2020 because of COVID, of course.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So they have these things every year?
Yes, the first one was in 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is okay. So you're saying next year they have something to look forward to or something to work on?
I doubt if they're going to let that happen again.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Travis Scott will want to do it again.
Right. And that could be the career sacrifice move.
And I think if they did do it, they should throw it inside the stadium instead of outside where there could be more control.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be staying in incognito for at least a few years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys might have heard a few times now that you hear the airplane in our background.
Yeah.
It's because we're outside,
by
like
the fire,
a tiki hut type of thing, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and we just enjoying it like that. And so I'm just going to sign out of here, but I just want to let you know that we wanted to update you because we felt like it was important, especially for us because we live here.
And I want to send out condolences to all the victims.
Yes, amen.
Same here.
And hopefully the numbers don't grow.
Right.
Of fatalities, because I've seen reports that people still haven't seen their children. Some people they actually have a site set up for people who haven't heard from their children yet.
Oh wow!
So, and I don't know how that works because I know they've cleared the parking lot and probably got everything out of there. So I don't know how people still are missing.
Well, because originally when it happened, people didn't know who people were.
Okay.
So you would think that they would have identification on them.
Yeah.
But apparently they did not.
Wow.
You know, so that I could see how that happened, but I couldn't see that still being active today.
Yeah.
I would think by now they would already have done it, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
You know, maybe people are slow. So I want to say, you know, again, guys, you know, you be safe out there and watch yourself in large gatherings, okay? And I'm out of here. My name is JH.
And I'm your moderator, Trent Johnson. And I just want to make y'all aware, you know, we're going to do the show we had planned tonight, next week. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be about the Black Hand of Death.
Amen.
And this is your anchorman Dave R signing off. Please be safe. Please, I bid you a good safety and God bless you.
Peace.
Would you like to advertise on the Urban Paranormal Podcast? Send us an email at urbanparanormal13@gmail.com. Or if you just have a story to tell, send us an email. Help support the Urban Paranormal Podcast by sending your donations to $DSB Media on Cash App. That's $DSB Media on Cash App.